will you step up for this? Yeah, cool. Okay. Right, so I still got an interaction because I want to interact with this bird.
Right.
But I got an interaction that he chose to do.
Right.
I just set it up. I manipulated the heck out of his little brain so that he was like, yeah, I wanted to do that.
Right.
That's how you have a good relationship with a bird.
What'd you try before?
Manipulation. Oh, I was just explaining how, because he was like, I want to pet you. I want to pet you. I want to pet you. And it was all that body language.
Yes, it was that.
Jaden was nice.
And so
Being honest, I thought she was going to bite you.
So I was just explaining off camera. I was like, what if I go to try to pet him? What does it look like? And he was like, hmm? And I'm like, okay, so no. And just how accepting that as a language, you're building trust and confidence. It goes back to a story I tell in quite a few different places, but when I was 19, I toured China, or 18, and I'm sitting in the restaurant, and I'm like, I'm getting mad, because I'm trying to order, and I only speak English. The waiter's getting mad, frustrated, because he doesn't know what I want, because he only speaks Chinese.
Right.
So I point to the picture of chow mein on the menu, and he's like, oh, okay, chow mein. All of a sudden he speaks English. No. So I point to the picture of chow mein, and he's like, ah, cool. What it was this clear understanding. I knew that's exactly what I wanted, and he knew exactly what I wanted, and so now we could form this language of that picture meant, here's what you want.
Right.
We are never going to speak the same language, but each picture that I pointed to is adding to a language we do speak together. And that's what training is for birds.
Yeah.
You're never going to speak their language. They're never going to truly understand and speak our language, right? And so it's finding these little things where it's like, oh, when you do this, I understand now that means I don't want to be pet. Cool. Right? But you can see how if I continue to force that, eventually it's going to get...
Like what he did, like get all worked up, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so I call it birdie bullying, right? Where it's like, we don't necessarily mean to, but that's the effect we're having.
That's just what I did. I'm going to pet you whether you want it or not.
Yep. Like we were making the joke of like, I want you to want to do the dishes. Jamie has found out that there is a positive reinforcement at the end of me doing the dishes. So I want to do the dishes.
Right.
Same thing. Having a bird doesn't mean you own it. You're married to this thing.
Right.
So how do you get it to want to do the things that you want to do with it?
Right.
So Mike is about to grab their macaw, Harley. Harley is a bird that Michelle is terrified of, to put it lightly. She's incredibly intimidated by Harley. Harley's not a fan of Michelle, but she is quite a big fan of Michelle's husband, Mike. So Mike's the only one that can handle Harley and interact with her. The times that he's pushed Michelle into interacting with Harley, she has gotten bit, so she's become even more terrified of Harley and refused to even do anything hands-on with Harley until we got to their home in person. So even though we've done a lot of online consultations, that was more about just setting up the foundations so that we could be in fact successful on their in-home consultation. A lot of the time, if you don't have the right diet, the right amount of sleep, you haven't figured out your bird's favorite treats or what motivates it, you cannot make progress on training. And if you do, sometimes what works one day won't work another day, so it can leave you feeling very, very confused. So we're really excited today to work with Harley and Michelle.
That's so interesting that his mind goes there.
Yeah. So I'm a little bummed we missed the first part of your lead into that statement, but you wanted to set it up so she's comfortable.
So Holly's comfortable so that Holly can be comfortable with Michelle.
Yeah.
That was my thought process.
And I don't want Harley to be comfortable.
Okay. That's why you guys are here.
Yeah.
No, that's so interesting though, because can you explain that? Like the fact that if Harley has a high confidence level, what that equals for Michelle?
Yeah, so think of it as like when Harley's in, it's a girl, right?
Yes.
When Harley's in her territory, why the heck would she go to anybody else?
Okay.
Let's get her out of her territory.
So I was getting a little comfortable with her, and I had my hand out like this to give her free range, and I'm like, that was wrong. That was so wrong. I should have never done that. So you guys are really going to have to help me with her.
Oh, I 100% have a great exercise for you that you'll feel confident.
And
Okay.
you do hear Michelle's voice changing as
Uh-huh.
she's starting to work.
And her posture change.
Right.
Everything,
right.
Minute she's come out because
Do
I'm
you
like,
want him to work with her, or do you want to start with her, with Michelle?
I just want to see one target.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Going back to the illustration where I was holding the clicker and like pulling it away from you, right? You had her going for the target. You could see she was probably going to chomp down, so you moved it at the last second.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will apply to you as well when you give the treat. So watch this. Remember that invisible line I was talking about for the
Yes.
step up?
Yeah.
We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come closer, closer, closer. See how she's reaching. Upper mandible. There's no way she could have bit it. Now same thing with the treats. Coming in, she can't bite me with the upper mandible and tongue. So I'm gonna have you have a seat, and then I'm gonna have you come over here. Okay, so I'll do one more illustration for you. I'll grab a treat. Okay, so you already see the engagement. She's like, yeah, what do you want? What do you want? Right? This isn't aggression. This is curiosity. So I'm going to show you one more time. Come in real slow. See how I'm barely reaching?
Yeah.
Same thing on the treat. I'm going to come high. She can't get the lower mandible around, but she can still manipulate it with her upper mandible
Gotcha.
and her tongue. You're going to do the same thing. I'm going to click for it.
okay.
Good job. Excellent. It's pretty good. Did you see her feathers change?
Yes.
Okay.
What does that mean?
So it seemed like it was a little bit heightened.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what her intentions were. However, once you gave her the treat, you were still like,
I know.
and you
that's
kept going.
exactly, yeah.
You
So-
went too far.
Yeah, so let me see one more treat. Perfect. So I want you to watch this really closely.
Okay.
I'm going to bring the treat, right? And I'll pause as long as I willingly can. See, just reach.
Gotcha.
Right? So we
Perfect.
can slow it down just a tiny bit. If I went
Okay.
too slow, I'd make her mad.
Right.
If I go too fast, I'm probably going to get bitten.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're going to need to mellow her down for a sec. So food, water, shelter. I'm going to change something about the shelter, the environment. So I'm
Okay.
going to come over here. She's going to be wondering what's happening. So you stay there.
Okay.
Okay, so we changed something because we're getting a heightened behavior.
Yes, I see
I'm
that.
going to lower my energy real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and go back and reset so that you can go ahead and do that same thing.
Okay.
Slow.
Is that too
And-
fast?
Yeah, no, you're okay. And then just slowly bring in the treat. Slowly. Pause there. Go a little further. A little further. Good. I can feel your fear.
I know. I just got to trust. I just have to trust.
Yeah, but you
Relax.
could see how it is physically impossible for her to bite, and she's
That's so
reaching
true.
with that upper mandible and tongue.
Very true.
Perfect. See how she barely had to touch it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Then have a seat.
Okay.
So we got really heightened when we were just talking, not doing anything.
Right.
Part of that is we were in her bubble, and
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to explain a concept while she's ready to work.
Right.
It's a good way to get them kind of mad. Change that environment so that we brought her out of that focused aggression state, and then re-put the focus on you when she was no longer in that super heightened moment. You don't want to train in that heightened moment
You want?
because what you're doing is you're pairing pissed off on cue.
Okay.
And that's the same reason why coming in with the target stick, we come in so slowly like that, is she's focused on touching the stick because Mike's already trained that behavior.
Right.
She likes Mike.
Yeah.
Right? We could assume likes hair fingers. But it can be done in a calm fashion.
Okay.
If you put the stick in too close, she's going to crunch it.
Right.
So this is what I do to your face. It's like all that, right?
Yes.
And so that's why it's really important to just get that upper mandible. It's like hard to be pissed off and like,
Right,
that's something in your tongue, right?
exactly, yeah.
So that's what we want. We want this like,
Okay.
we want to pair a new emotion
Yeah.
with the bird, with you, with training, and all of that.
Now, if I see her getting anxious or like worked up, do I just turn around? Do I go in a different? What do I do? Just kind of like you did. You changed the scenario. So what would I do?
I love that. Let's see.
Okay.
So what I think your answer is that you just switch sides.
Okay.
See how much more gentle that was? All the intention too. It wasn't like
I'm trying to be in tune with her. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't screw you, give me the treat.
Right.
These are like, it's a totally different energy.
Okay, perfect.
See, it was just the tongue. Have a treat. Good. Feel good?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you're like,
do.
You're not as
I'm not as
heightened
heightened.
anymore.
No, I'm not as heightened. I feel really good.
This is going really well, and there's
Is
a
it
lot of
better
room
just-
left. You're right to end on a high note, but we're not there yet.
Okay,
We're,
so what do you think? Do it again?
Keep going.
Okay. And it was very gentle too. Is it okay to take your time with this? Like, so
This is about the most time I would take. Yeah, you're okay, but there's
a little bit faster?
Yeah, so what I was
Have to
explaining.
be more prepared.
Yeah, so what I
Okay.
explained, where I was like, if I go too slow, I'm going to make her mad.
Yes.
We just had great reps. She had great energy. She was calm. And look at how chill she is right now.
Yeah, she's
this
very
is
chill.
awesome.
Yeah.
So if we go too long, we're going to just make her irritated that we're not giving her the treat.
Aggravated. Okay.
See how calm those are?
Yeah, she's very calm.
Okay, this time let's have you switch to the other side.
Okay.
So just keep in mind not to aggravate her on the way, but she's like alert. Yeah, this is great. Okay, let me switch over here too. Hold on. Okay. So that one got a little more aggressive. Go ahead and treat her though.
Treat her.
So careful. Yeah. So you went a little too fast, a little too far.
Was
Okay,
that
so see,
still
you can still treat,
Okay.
but you notice it was a little heightened?
Yes.
So what can we change to make it a little less heightened?
Me.
Mm-hmm. So let's have you go back to the other side.
Okay.
For whatever reason, you seem better on that side, she seems better on that side. It's gentle, yeah. And that was gentle, we'll end there.
Very
Cool.
good. Yes. Very, very cool.
So have a seat so she's not
Awesome.
thinking that you're going to cue her for stuff.
Okay. That was great.
You could feel the
I
difference.
can
You felt
definitely feel it. And I can do that. I
Now
can
she's
work
got
with
in the
her.
bed with the wave.
Yeah.
She wants to
and I
swim
want
work.
to. So how long should I work with her doing this? Like how?
So, intention. What's your intention? The intention is to get better, ultimately better communication,
Right.
and build confidence, build trust. All that, the skills will follow. So, the answer lies in how many can you do and still maintain focus, interest,
So I got to watch
good
her.
emotions. Exactly.
Okay.
It might be 5 reps. So a lot of my flight students, I tell them to give me 5 perfect repetitions. I would encourage you to start with that.
Okay.
Try to get 5 perfect reps.
Perfect.
What does it look like to get 5 perfect reps?
Okay.
Set yourself up for success and just get 5 perfect reps.
All right.
If you find that that's working and you're like, she's definitely willing to do a lot more, then you could start to change it to, okay, let's try 7 to 10. What changes when I get to 7 to 10? Do I get better behavior? Do I get worse behavior? Does it trickle off and adapt from there?
Because you saw, like, if you would have started the session on this side, you may have thought, like, oh, this isn't going well, I can't train right now. But actually, on the other side, you were really successful.
Yes.
So even doing that and being like,
Just
okay,
being
it's not
aware
working
of
this way.
those little things with her, and then moving over, and it's okay to move over and be successful.
Yeah. If it's
Okay.
not working, don't just think it's not working. Think, like, what can I change to
Okay.
maybe make this be more successful?
And really pay attention to her body language. But I also noticed you started to move the moment she showed you she was ready to work. And so trust that
Yeah.
on all of the aspects.
Okay.
If she's too heightened, change something, because we don't want to pair piss off with training.
Exactly.
If she's like, she looks like the kind of bird that's going to be always willing to work.
Yeah.
So we just need to make sure that we're not doing too many repetitions and burning her out. We also want to make sure that we're reading her body language and keeping her, ending it at a high moment where you know she would love to keep working with you.
Okay.
So if you were ever wondering where to start with a bird that doesn't like you, is mean or aggressive towards you, doesn't want to interact with you, this is a great starting point. And what we continue to do is continue building Michelle's confidence with Harley through positive interactions like more targeting, capturing calm, having conversations and answering some of Michelle's questions about Harley, just more positive interactions and giving Michelle and Harley the time and the space to succeed together. I even give training Harley a go since it seems like she's not crazy about women in general, and I really want to curb that into her starting to associate women more positively and not just be a man's bird, because we want this to be more 60-40 between Mike, Michelle, and Harley. And she's never going to get there if Harley doesn't learn to socialize with a variety of people. So, of course, I give it a go. I work on targeting, I work on spin training, just general interactions. Keep in mind that when you're working with a bird that isn't crazy about interacting with you, doing more hands-off stuff such as targeting or capturing is really the way to go. That way your energy is calm, the animal's energy is calm, they're not worried about having to bite you to relay a message, and you're not worried about being bitten. It really changes the dynamic and the energy between the two of you. So finding great ways to work together is really key in working with a bird that isn't a fan of you to get them to eventually like you.